Hi, I'm Riley. I'm fighting for the negative side, and we want to fight to keep the minimum wage to raise to 15. My opponent's first affirmative claim was that it will have a negative effect on the economy, which is actually false. According to the United States Department of Labor, claims that the raise of California's minimum wage is a good thing. In a letter to President Obama showing that increases in the minimum wage have little to no effect on the employment of minimum wage workers, even during the times of weakness in the labor market. I also found some evidence from Berkeley's team of labor market researchers, and they said the policy will have large positive effects on living standards and very small effects on employment. And those who will receive higher wages, annual pay will increase $4,900 a year on average, boosting consumer spending. For my second point of saying that it won't hurt the economy is that minimum wage will actually help the economy get back to its feet. According to Economic Roundtable, worker impacts, one was standard of living improves. 2, more money will stay in LA, and 3, more spending and economic stimulus occurs when money is in the pockets of lower income workers than when in the pockets of higher income stockholders. They also said that increasing the buying power of workers would make these industries direct beneficiaries of the higher wages they would be paying. So the more they make, the more they spend kind of thing is a lot of what I have found. And my third point for it is that small businesses do not oppose to raising the minimum wage. According to United States Department of Labor, a study was done in July of 2015. 3 out of 5 small business owners with employees support a gradual increase in minimum wage to $12. And there was a quote from one of the small businesses, or from small businesses in general. They say an increase would immediately put more money in the pocket of low-wage workers who will spend the money on things like housing, food, and gas. And this boost in demand for goods and services will help stimulate the economy and help create opportunities. Also, according to Sacramento Bee, California legislation will raise the statewide minimum wage to $10.50 on January 1st for businesses with 26 or more workers. This is the first of several incremental increases to 15. Smaller businesses will have an additional year to phase in each increase. So let's say that the increases start next year, so they have a year from January 1st of 2017 to actually begin these increases. For her second claim of raising the minimum wage will cause harm to the lower classes, my negative claim is that it will help them, plus it will also help everybody else. Millions of people are at minimum wage and need a raise to cover basic essentials such as cost of living and food. I found multiple evidence pieces from the Huffington Post, and they say that about 18 million individuals are employed in the country's largest state economy. 118,000 of them make minimum wage or less, which is those 118,000 people are living, that's a majority of a group of people that are living below minimum wage. They say unlike the federal law, California law does not permit employers to pay tipped workers a lower minimum wage, meaning a hike to 15 would apply to states' tipped workers as well. So if you work in a restaurant or anywhere that you can receive tips, you will not be docked from this minimum wage boost. In California alone, housing costs are a particular problem. California rents are the second highest in the country. We are right below Hawaii, and our rent is extremely high compared to most states. I found a quote from a lady, her name is Guadalupe Salazar. She is a employee at McDonald's. Huffington Post interviewed her, And she said it's due to the fight for 15 and the union that we have accomplished this victory. It is something to be proud of. McDonald's was one of those companies that everybody was like, you know, these people don't deserve to make more money, and even if people don't agree with it, there are people that support families that work in places like that and they need the money. My second point for how it will actually help people is that it will close the wage gap, especially within women. According to National Women's Law Center, women who work full-time only make 78% of what their male counterparts make, leaving a wage gap of 22 cents to the dollar. Women are nearly 2/3 of minimum wage workers, and raising the minimum wage would help close this gap by increasing wages for workers at the bottom of the spectrum. California was on a list for the 10 states with the smallest wage gap in 2013, and our earnings were 83.9%. The wage gap was at 16.1%, and minimum wage was at $8. By lifting these minimum wages for lowest paid workers while leaving wages unchanged for those at the top, raising this minimum wage would likely narrow the range of wages paid to workers across the economy. So they're raising it for the people at the bottom, and the people at the top are not moving, so it's closing that wage gap drastically. And they had some statistics on it, and women were definitely among the top of them. For her third claim, that $12 minimum wage is not, or that it is enough to sustain a decent lifestyle, I have found multiple evidence pieces that say that it is not enough to live a life that is not paycheck to paycheck. According to Huffington Post, back to Guadalupe Salazar, she makes $12.55 an hour.
You've run out of time. You can finish your sentence.
Oh, okay. Her monthly rent is $900. Half of her take-home pay, working 40 hours a week, covers the rent with $15 an hour. She said she might be able to qualify for and afford a loan for a car. So she works 40 hours a week at $12.55, and she is still barely able to make just her rent. And I was reading more on her, and she actually has a family, and she supports her mother, and they barely get by on that pay. So it wouldn't just affect the employees, but also their families.